Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I'm on my way to go get a fountain pop with Tanya Jean. Just got back from dinner and I changed into some comfy clothes. I put some sweat shorts on and a different t-shirt. We went out to dinner with Melissa and Jason tonight. We were supposed to go to this like fundraiser thing, but we decided not to go. They just went themselves, Melissa and Jason, and then Melissa, their niece is visiting, so she went with them as well. But anyway, yeah, and so now I'm going to get a fountain pop with Tanya. Alex is going to bed. He has to work tomorrow, and then I'm gonna vlog on the way there, and then I'm gonna vlog for 20 to 30 minutes afterwards, after I get a fountain pop with Tanya. And then I'm gonna probably call it a night tonight, because I'd like to sit on the front porch and I would like to read Witch's Sister for a little bit. It's been sitting on my island in my kitchen for the last 2 or 3 days. And then I would also like to watch another episode of Legendary. I finished last night The Alienist. I watched the season finale. It was fantastic. Oh my god, it was so good. That show is so good. I love that show so much. I wish they would keep it coming back, but the way that it ended, they're not going to. Like, they just kind of ended like everybody's story, so like it's not going to keep on going on. But it's a fantastic show. The finale was very scary, and they tied up everything. So then I watched 2 episodes. I stayed up way too late last night. I watched 2 episodes of Legendary on HBO Max, which is like this reality competition show about the ballroom scene in New York City. It's so good. And I think I talked about it last night. It's hosted by that Jamil. I love her from The Good Place. The Good Place. That I have like 1 season left to watch, because it's like it had its final season, and then the show like it had its series finale, But anyway, I haven't been able to watch it yet because it hasn't come on Netflix or anywhere else, and I don't know where else I can get it. I said it the other night, so probably somebody put it in the comment section, and I don't know yet. I've been going in like every 2 or 3 days and reading all the comments on here. Today was okay. Today was a tough day. I woke up to like 3 messages dealing with like medical stuff. One about having to do this like over the phone COVID check for my MRI on Monday, which in all honesty, I've been kind of like out of sight, out of mind, because I just really don't want to deal with it. They were very nice. I had to call this guy and talk to him, and he just asked me like a bunch of questions. It was literally like 2 or 3 minutes. And then I had to like register, like, I don't know, like for the MRI. I didn't really understand what that was, and it was really like basically talking to this woman, and she was like, are you still going to the MRI on Monday? And I was like, yes. And she was like, okay, well, you need to arrive at such and such time. I was like, so basically it was just like this confirmation, but they called it registration, and I had to do it or something. I don't know, the whole thing was just very bizarre. And then the third thing was my test results from my blood and my urinalysis. I'm so over this doctor's office. I talked to my sponsor tonight. I was literally bawling on the phone to my sponsor. I've been a mess all afternoon. All I wanted to do was make videos today, and I'm like trying to do that around like being a mess, I like made this Peterisms video, and I just kind of like lost it. It was so healthy for me though, like I'm such a person that believes in like telling your truth and living out loud. And what I mean by that is like telling your truth doesn't necessarily mean like your side of the story. Telling your truth or, whatever can also mean like just telling what's going on with yourself for that day. We talk about that in recovery all the time. Just like saying to, like in a meeting or to your sponsor or to a friend, or if you're not sober, like to a friend or a family member or a counselor or a priest or minister or whatever, rabbi, an accountability partner, life coach, personal trainer or whatever. I sometimes, back in the day when I was going to my personal trainer, I told her more stuff than like I told my counselor at times. I just felt very safe with her, I need to go back to her. Hell, I paid for so many sessions while the COVID was going on because I was like, I know you guys are a small business. I said, just keep on charging me. I'm fine for it, whatever. And so I have like 15 sessions or something. I stopped them actually like a month ago because I'm like, I'm not coming back until I lose some weight because I've gained so much weight. And she was like, isn't that the idea of coming to a personal trainer? I'm like, yes, I know. Okay, I know that that's the idea of coming to a personal trainer. But like, I don't, like, I'll be so out of breath and stuff. Anyway, I'm so unhealthy. Like, the bottom line is I'm just so unhealthy, okay? And we know that. And I'm sure that, you know, my haters have a heyday with that and me talking about that I'm fat and all that kind of stuff. And I really don't care, you know, at this point. I know the truth, and I know the reality is if I don't get my stuff together, I'm not 25 anymore. Not that it would make a difference, but I'm 48, you know? And if I don't get my stuff together, like, I'm not gonna be here, you know? And that's scary to me. And so I called and I talked to the doctor's office. And I talked to this woman on the phone, and I don't know who she was, a tech or whatever. She wasn't a nurse. And it's not her fault. Like, when I was talking to my sponsor, I was like, I don't blame her, and I'm powerless over people, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But, like, so she said the doctor wanted me to call you and tell you the results about your blood test. It's 4 o'clock on Friday, you guys, okay, when I finally call. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, told me all this stuff that, like, made no sense to me whatsoever. And she's like, oh, and he wants you to follow up with your primary care physician. I have no future scheduled appointment with this doctor, okay, that I went to originally for my back problems. I have no follow-up appointment after the MRI or blood work or nothing. In fact, I called my dad today, and my dad was so frustrated, and he goes, I feel like he's dropping you, like he's just dumping you on somebody, or he said dumping. He goes, I feel like he's just dumping you anywhere he can. Like, he goes, I don't understand it, I'm very confused. I'm so frustrated. I told my sponsor today, I said, we're gonna have a conversation about restraint of pen and tongue, which is like, you know, something that you work on in recovery. I said, because when this MRI is done, and I don't know what I have to do with this doctor anymore. I said, I'm ready to march in there and tell him a few things about how he runs his practice. Because this is so unprofessional. So I'm talking to this girl on the phone today, right? And so she told me, well, like, this is a little high, and we're concerned about this, and blah, 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 whatever. You need to talk to her. But she didn't tell me my number. She didn't tell me anything, right? She's just like, this is in your, you know, test results and whatever. So I'm freaking out, okay? I'm like panic central. I'm writing all this stuff down, you know, tell my dad and talk to my sponsor about it. I don't understand any of it, right? So she says to me, one of the things that we're most concerned about that came back in your blood work is this such and such. And I'm like, okay. I have no idea what this is, right? Now, until I start knowing what these things are, you guys, I'm not going to say it on the vlog because, to be honest with you, I love you guys and you're so, so sweet and supportive, but I'll get 900 suggestions. And so until I know exactly what these test results say or what I'm looking at or whatever, like, it just is better not to, you know what I mean? For all of us, I think. So she says to me, there's like, level, you have this in your blood. And I was like, okay, well, what is that? I've never heard of that before. And she said this, are you ready for this? This is what she said to me, a medical professional. She said, well, I've never heard of it either. Let's Google it together. And I'm just like, in that moment, I'm like, is this for real? Like, am I really talking to a medical professional that's supposed to put me at ease, but be honest with me at the same time? And she's Googling something because she has no idea what it is. And so, but I'm like, at the same moment, I'm like, okay, this is not this person's fault. The doctor probably told her, call these people back, you know, let them know their results. She's not the one to blame for it, right? So I'm sitting there and she Googles it and she reads the definition, and the definition is pretty harsh, right? Like, I'm like, oh wow. And she's like, yeah, like, you probably need to get in to see your primary care physician. And I'm like, okay. So I call my dad, and my dad's like, he was so nice. My dad is so kind. And, you know, I said this on my Peterisms video, you know, I grew up with a dad that sat on the back patio for 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon talking to patients' parents and family members and spouses because they were so scared and they didn't understand what was going on or what procedures they were going to have done. You know, my dad came home late and was at people's houses, you know, doing like you know, going to house calls, changing dressings. You know, I spent my Sunday afternoons at families' houses that I didn't know because my dad was so respectful of them. And I have this woman on the phone that's like telling me, like, let's Google it, you know, and I'm scared to death and I have no idea what's going on, and I've got this leg that's crazy, and now I've got all this stuff coming up in my blood test and my urinalysis, and I'm like, I don't understand any of this. She can't tell me the difference. And so I'm asking my dad on the phone, and he's so frustrated. He's like trying to be like, you know, very soft with me, but he's like, Peter, I'm frustrated. He's like, this doctor is like dumping you on anybody he can at this point, because he doesn't really, think I know what's going on. And then Alex is trying to be so sweet and supportive, but he's frustrated because he wants me to go to the doctor that he went to. So I said to my dad, well, what is this thing that she's talking about? And he goes, I have no idea. He goes, like, that's a really ambiguous medical term. Like, you wouldn't say to a patient to be worried about that. And he goes, were you talking to one of the nurses there? And I said, I don't know who I was talking to. She was just, you know, like the person that they put my call through to. And he goes, well, I've never heard of that before. I have no idea what that would be. So I get off the phone, and I'm talking to Alex, and he's being so sweet. And he's like, well, what do you need from me? And like, let's do this. And he's like, you know, let's wait till the MRI's done, and let's find you somebody that you feel comfortable with, another doctor to go see. My dad said he was gonna hook me up with this internist. He's like, you'll love this guy. He said he's very charismatic. He's like, Peter, he sets up all my appointments for me and all your stepmom's appointments for you. He's fantastic. You'll love him. He was like, let's get you into him, you know, as a primary care physician. And he was like saying all this stuff. Okay. So all of that's great, you know, but like, it's now 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and I don't know what's going on with all of this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have no idea, and I'm full of fear. And Alex is being sweet, my dad's being sweet, and then I talked to Tanya, and she's talking me through it, and I got on the phone with my sponsor, and I just lost it. Like, I just lost it. And she was like, she was like, what's going on? And I'm like, I am so full of fear right now. Like, I'm so full of fear. And she's like, okay, let's break this fear down. I'm like minutes from Tanya, so I need to get off here, but she's like, what's the bottom line? And I said, I don't know. I said, like, what if, like, I have, you know, like, I said, this is why I didn't want to get any tests done, because this is how it was with my mom. Like, she went in for one thing, and then they found out it was this other thing, and it was too far gone at that point. I said, you know, like, I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared it could be, like, you know, stage 4 cancer or something. And she was like, okay, well, what if it is? She's like, kept on breaking down my fear, you know? She's like, you're not stupid, you know, like, you know, we're not going to be here forever. And I'm like, I'm not ready to go yet. Like, I'm not ready to go yet. And I'm just not, you know, like, I'm scared. She's like, you're borrowing so much trouble. And I know this, like, I know all these things, right? You know, like, I've been all day, like, I've been practicing gratitude and saying to myself, when God hands you a tragedy, look up and say thank you, you know, like, and I know that God is in this. Like, I believe in my heart that my God is in this. I believe in my heart that my God did not bring me 25 and a half years to drop me on my ass. I believe that. I believe that God is looking out for me right now. I believe all of that, you know? So, why fear? Because fear and faith cannot exist in the same place. But I don't know that I necessarily believe that sometimes. So she and I had a long talk, and it was good, but went out to dinner. Now Alex is going to bed, and I was like, I just need to see my best friend, you know, and dump on her for a little bit. So I'm getting a fountain pop with Tanya, and then I will be back in just I know it's a weird place to end the vlog, but I'm here, so I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I dropped Tanya Jean off. We went and she got a fountain pop and I got a Diet Coke. And then we drove around and talked, and, you know, I feel so incredibly blessed to have the people in my life that I do, you know. I think it was like no mystery, like when I started the vlog tonight, that I was like really down, and I'm just like kind of in my head spinning, you know. And you know, all day today, I will say this, it is so hot in here. You know, like, I asked myself the question. I was like, okay, Peter, like, you know, you talk a good talk, but like, can you walk a good walk? Like, you preach all this stuff, right? But like, now that you're going through something that you don't even know what it is and you're stressing out about it, and it could be nothing or it could be everything, like, you know, like, okay. So, you know, I was like, okay, the Maya Angelou quote, when you're going through the middle of, you know, a tragedy, look up and say thank you because you're about to learn a very valuable lesson. You know, when I was talking to my sponsor tonight on the phone, she was like, you know, is this an opportunity to change things in your life? Like, to get healthier? Like, maybe this is a warning sign, you know, on and on and on. And, you know, like, this was a chance for me to, like lean on my higher power and, you know, and speak to my higher power and practice meditation and prayer, which I did today, you know. This was a chance for me to, like, lean on people around me and allow them to be there for me, you know, because I'm not good about that sometimes. So, like, all of these things, you know, like, I sit, like, in my Peter Risson's videos and whatnot, and I say, like, you know, I really, it's hot in here. Like, I challenged myself to practice today. I don't know that I would have done that 5 years ago, you know. I don't know that I would have done that last week. Like, sometimes I'm not quick to do that. But today, I don't know what it was. I really have no clue what it was, but I was like, okay, like, I was sitting outside. It was like before I called my sponsor, and I was like, well, I'll have to tell you the story about the plant in a second. But I was sitting outside and I was like, okay, you know, when I first got sober, this is like a recovery thing, but like, I got very, very stuck in this idea of, like, is God real, you know? And I identified as an agnostic for a long time, which is somebody that believes that there's something out there, you just don't really know what it is. That's a really simple definition of it, but that's what it is. An atheist believes that there's nothing out there, right? No higher power. I believed in something, but I didn't really know what it was. And I can remember that my sponsor would get so frustrated with me because I'd be like, well, it could be this, but it could be that. Like, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about that? And, you know, I was just so full of questions, right? I always had been since I was a kid, you know? And I can remember my sponsor, like, straight out, you know, just was like, God either is or he isn't, you know? And I'm not a believer necessarily that God either is a he or a she. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't know about all that, but it's a valid question, I think. And, you know, when you're sober, it's a lot about this whole, like, spiritual foundation. Like, do you believe in a higher power? Like, it comes down to that at some moment, you know? And so, like, I was sitting there today and I was like, okay, God either is or he isn't. Like, do you really believe that statement? Like, do you really, really believe that statement? Like, in your heart of hearts, right? And I was like, yes. So if you really believe that, okay, and you have faith, and faith is, for me, just a strong belief, you know? It's not a religious term. It just means that I have a strong belief and have put my belief in something. I mean, you can have faith in, you know, I guess your favorite football team if you want, right? But, so I was sitting there and I was thinking about that, you know, and I was like, this whole life that I'm on is a journey, right? I don't know what's coming next, but this is part of it. And God is in whatever I am doing. Like, whatever's going to happen, God is in that. As an alcoholic and an addict, I am somebody that, like, immediately catastrophizes things, which you could probably see earlier, you know? So I just was like, okay, you know, I talked to my sponsor. She was fantastic. She was so helpful to me, you know, with things on the phone. My husband, it's like, I feel like I have this careful connection, or not careful connection, I feel like I have this amazing connection of people around me that, like, do you know, like, you know that, like, science project kind of thing that people do, where it's like they have this, like, golf ball go down, like, this thing, you know, and then it's like, and then it's like, it hits this thing, and then the thing, like, lights something, and then it opens something else for the light, for the golf ball. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like between Alex and my dad and my stepmom and Caroline, my cousin, and Tanya, and my, you know, sponsor, and my friend Valerie, and Melissa, and Jason, and, you know, Alex's family, and just, you know, I feel like I have, like, each person plays a part in this, like, golf ball maze, if that makes sense, right? And it, like, works so carefully, and each person gives me something different in my life that together, collectively, is, like, this beautiful, like, you know, whatever that's called, sequence. It's just like this beautiful sequence that works together. And it was like each person I talked to gave me something different. You know, I was talking to Alex tonight, and he was like, this was before we went to dinner, and he was like, babe, what do you need from me tonight, you know? And I said, I need to have fun. Like, I can't do anything about it this weekend. You know, I've prayed on it. I'll continue to pray on it. I'm trying to stay out of the fear, you know, and talking to my sponsor, but like, I need to have fun, because we're going out to dinner tonight. We went out to dinner tonight with Melissa and Jason and their niece. We went to District Tap, which is like one of our favorite restaurants. It's just real fun. And I had the Beyond Burger, and I had a wedge salad with no bacon, and I had sweet potato fries. The sweet potato fries were so good. And then tomorrow night, we're going out to dinner with a friend of Alex's from high school. That, I mean, he's still friends with her today. And she and her boyfriend just moved here, and they just moved into a house together, and then Sarah, and we're gonna all go out to dinner together, because Sarah went to high school with her too and is friends with her. And then Alex works tomorrow, and then on Sunday, Alex has a baby shower that he has to go to for one of his really close friends. So I have like Sunday afternoon all to myself, and I think I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go to like one of my favorite like bagel places that I haven't been to in forever, and I'm gonna get bagels, and I'm gonna get with like tons of like what is it, cream cheese schmear on it, you know, and then I'm gonna get a big cup of coffee and a juice and a paper, and I'm gonna do the crossword, and that's how I'm gonna enjoy a little bit of my Sunday afternoon. But I was like, you know, because I have to get up early on Monday morning. I have to get up really early for this MRI that I'm scared to death of too. But I'll be all right. I'll get through it, you know. I know that, like, it'll come and go, and then it'll be something that I look back on and be like, God, you like were really scared about that. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, I'll just walk out of it and be like, screw you, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it really is that simple. You know, I work it all up in my head, and it's like, worst case scenario, I just look at you guys, and or look at the people that work there and just say, hey, I appreciate your time, but I'm leaving, and I have to pay for this MRI that I didn't get. You know what I mean? Like, which will really suck, sure. But like, I mean, if that's the worst case scenario, and I don't know whatever happens to me medically, but like, I'm gonna do it because I want to know what happened to me medically, obviously, right? But like, worst case scenario, if I panic and I can't do it, then like, I just won't, you know? And then I'll be like, okay, I guess I need to do this conscious sedation, which I don't want to do, but you know what I mean? So it'll be fine. I'll figure it out somehow. You know, it's so early, maybe I'll be tired, and then I'll just kind of fall asleep, and there's what I'm hoping. Plus, I'm like the first one, I think, because the woman was like, she told me today when I registered for it, she was like, come at, like, I'm like at 7 or something like that, and she was like, they told me before that I needed to be like 20 to 30 minutes early, and she was like, well, you don't need to come that early because you're like the first one. So she was like one of the first ones, so she was like, they won't need to start that early, and I was like, okay. But anyway, I don't know, you know, like, Alex was just absolutely just so awesome tonight, and just such a shoulder to lean on, and I just feel so blessed to have my husband. He's amazing, you know, and then my sponsor was so good, and then like I went to dinner. I didn't say anything to Melissa and Jason. I told Alex, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I said, I just want to have fun and dinner and laugh, and that was what we did, and that was what I needed, you know, and it was fantastic. And then I got in the car with Tanya, and I cried a little bit at first, and, you know, talked about being scared, and, you know, and she shared some things with me, and I shared some things with her, and then we were laughing and talking like we always do, and she got my mind off of things, you know. And it was funny because so we got back to the house when I was dropping her off. We drove around for a while, and I was really feeling like a can of Diet Coke tonight. I'm like really into the cans of Diet Coke, you know. So we were driving around, and I said to her, I said, oh, can I use your restroom for a second? And she was like, yeah. And so I came inside, and I said hi to her husband, Eric, and was seeing the dogs and stuff like that. And I went to the restroom, and then I was like, can we sit on the back patio for a second? I said, I haven't sat on your back patio for a while, because I haven't, you know, like this whole summer, I've only sat out there like a handful of times, and we used to be out there like every night. It's just something like homey for me, you know. It's like that place that you always come back to. And we sat out there for a second. It was all cleaned up and it was so nice. And it was like pitch black out there. It was like so pretty. And you could hear like, I mean, I can hear them here, like the crickets or the cicada or whatever they are. And they were like really loud, you know, and you hear them. If I drive out into the field, I'll stop and you guys can hear it. Oh, do I have another battery with me? Please tell me I have another battery with me because my battery's about to die. Oh my God, what a weird night. Okay, so my battery died. There's that. And then while I was changing my battery, Tanya called and she was like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you about something about our friend. Something horrible that happened. Well, she's okay, thank God, but something that happened to our friend. And so she was telling me about that, and then I was like, okay, so now I'm back. I'm back, and I don't even really, it's been like 15 minutes, and I don't even really remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about just feeling like so blessed about the people that I have in my life, you know. I just have just this interlocking connection of these people that just, you know, each of them are different. Each of them, like, give me something different in my life, but each one of them is just so absolutely amazing, you know? And it's like, you know, what I get from Alex is different than what I get from Tanya, is different than what I get from my sponsor, is different than what I get from Valerie, is different than what I get, you know, from my dad and my stepmom, or, you know, different people in my life. But it's just like, all of it together is so special, and I just feel so absolutely blessed. And you know, it's just really cool. And it's just like, I felt today, because I talked to like each person, you know, and it was like, I don't know, it's just like been so amazing to me, this connection that I have. And you know, like, just with like all of you guys, like offering me with my leg and my back, so much support and suggestions about like what to do and what you've been through, sharing your stories. Like, I think that's been the most powerful thing in going through this, is like hearing your stories. And, you know, I've always said that each of us has a story, and it's like, you know, I've gotten so many emails from people being like, let me tell you what I went through. And, you know, it's just, it's so comforting to like read somebody else's, like, them telling me their story of what they went through, or what their, you know, like spouse went through or parent went through, you know, that was similar to mine, and like what worked for them or what didn't, or just to even say, hey, I feel for you because, you know, like, you know, I went through something very, very similar. And it's like, I don't feel so all alone, and there's just this human connection to it. And I just want to thank all of you guys out there, you know, even if you haven't gone through something similar and you just were like, hey, Peter, I'm thinking of you, or, you know, like, hey, Peter, like, you know, I'm sending prayers or positivity or whatever, or love. Like, that just means so much to me. I just want to tell you that I really, really appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, it's just been really magical. And like, I just feel like I'm surrounded by so much love and positivity, like right now. Like, ever since this has been going on, I've just felt so surrounded by like love and positivity. I was talking about going to get bagels, wasn't I? Did I talk about that? I was telling Tanya that earlier. So did I tell her that? No, I told her that earlier. I think I talked about that on here, didn't I? But anyway, I just feel so surrounded by like love and positivity, you know? And I think also, like, today I had this moment. I've just been so emotional. I've been so emotional, baby. I don't know if maybe it's like when you're in pain, you're more emotional or something like that. And I mean, by emotional, I do this time mean like crying, like not joy, but like emotion. Like, I feel like I'm feeling things on a very deep level, like each and everything, you know? And so Alex tonight was cleaning up the front walk. So I was cleaning up the back patio, and I was taking all the plants, which are almost all dead now, and I was throwing them away. And like 2 of them that I bought, that were like these purple plants, they each have like 2 flowers left on them. The rest of them are dried up and dead. So I threw those away. And then I have these 2 other plants, and one of them is kind of like a mixture of these plants, and those, they were not doing well at all. And I got kind of sad, you know, putting the plants away. And then I had this favorite one that are like these small little yellow, like blue and red flowers, like this big. And they look kind of like rosebuds, even though they're not. And that was my favorite. And like when I always say goodbye to stuff. God knows why. I'm so corny like that. But I was taking it out to the trash, you know. And right before I threw it in the trash, I kind of held it and I looked at it and I was like, "You're my favorite, buddy." But he was my favorite, she or whatever, you know. And I threw it in the trash. And then I went back on the patio because I was like closing stuff up, and my neighbor was out there, and I was saying something to her about like, oh, I just got off the phone with my sponsor. That's why I was crying. I was like telling her a little bit about what was going on, and she was like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. Like, I hope I didn't, you know, interrupt you or whatever." I was like, "Oh no," or, you know. Anyway, I was like, "Don't worry about it. She's so sweet." And I said, so I was telling her about the plants, and I said, "I'm kind of sad about it." And she was like, "Well, you can revive them." She was like, "You know, plants can be revived." I go, "Yeah, I think they're kind of past that at this point." And I was sitting there and I was like thinking about, Tanya and I used to buy these flowers from the flower, like this farmer's market, set up a tent kind of thing in the grocery store parking lot at Marsh over here, which is non-existent anymore. But anyway, this guy sold these like big plotted flowers, and they were $24.99, I think is what they were, like for all of them. They were gorgeous, these big potted flowers. Potted flowers. And I loved them. Look at that patio with all those lights and stuff. It looks so cozy. And is that what I was talking about? I think I was talking about sitting on Tanya's patio maybe when I stopped. But anyway, I don't know. It's just like all of a sudden I like looked up and it was like closing. But anyway, so we used to go buy these huge like flower pots, and I bought one year 2 for the front, 2 for the back, and like I can remember I took a picture, I have it in my phone, of Pee-Pee with these flowers, and he's like, I was holding him, he was like smelling these flowers. But I even wrote this like post about it because they were like, I called them these vampire flowers, because we would come outside and Alex would be like, "Oh my God, those flowers are dying. Like, just throw them away. They're like dead," right? And I was like, "No, I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to water them." And he was like, "When are you going to water them?" I'm like, "I'll water them tonight." So like I would come home, you know, like from going out. I'm like looking at this battery. I'm like, "Is it dying too? Please do not do this." I cannot see the camera, which is like what the problem is. So like when it's like at half, like the battery goes to half, and then it just like it shuts off. And before it shuts off, it gives me like probably 20 or 30 seconds where it flashes, but I can't see it because I have to have my reading glasses on to see it. And of course I can't drive with my reading glasses on. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, so anyway, but I would come home, like we would go out to dinner or something, and then I would come home and I would water these plants, right? And then we would get up the next morning and I would come out and they would be like, I had just bought them. Like they were like brand new, you know? And so I called them these vampire flowers, and I was like, you know, you just have to give like love and, you know, whatever to these flowers, to different, like we all are like these flowers is basically what I was saying, that, you know, like we flourish when we're given what we need. And, you know, like what these flowers needed was water, and like what we all need is different, but like some of us need love and some of us, I can't remember, but anyway, it was kind of like that, you know? And so what was I gonna say about all that? Oh, I was sitting there and I was thinking about that. Alex had gone upstairs to take a shower, and I was waiting for him to get done so I could get in the shower. And I was thinking about it, and I went into the garage and I pulled the plant out, and I was like, I'm gonna revive this thing. She's right, I can revive this. So I pulled it out and I put it on the front porch, and I'm like, I'm gonna like pull off the dead parts, and I'm gonna water it, and I'm gonna bring this thing back to life for the rest of summer, because we still got, you know, 6 weeks probably while it's still warm enough outside. I was like, I'm gonna revive this thing and bring it back to life, because this is my favorite one. And then I'll keep it out on the front porch where it belongs. I read this meditation too in my Peterisms video, and it was about doing like the simple things, and then it kind of restores order in your life. And sometimes we need that, you know, to be reminded of just like the ordinary, you know. And I think it's so true. It's like this person has their brights on. It's like right at my eyes. Could you like turn your brights down, please? People are so rude. Anyway, and I got so emotional reading it, like I started crying. I'm laughing because I'm using the word emotional for crying, when emotion can be like anything, and I always say that, right? But I started crying during reading the thing, because it was like, that was it today for me, you know? Was like those things, those small things. Not small things, but those ordinary things, like I wanted to make videos today, like that was super important to me, you know, and like I made the bed, and like I was getting some laundry done, and I was doing this, and I was doing that, and all these things we're going to dinner tonight, you know, these things were important to me. And it's like that kind of restoring, that kind of order of going through the motions, like really helped me like kind of like get through the day, you know. And some days are worse than others, you know. It's like, okay, so I got some test results that I don't really understand, and I'm scared by. That's not the worst thing that could happen to me, right? Like, I could have got test results that were horrible, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst thing that could ever happen to me, like, in all reality. So, I mean, there's 100,000 times things that could be worse. You know, I talked a lot to my sponsor about that today, too. Like, two things that she said to me was, one of the things was, like, she was like, because I said to her specifically, I was like, what do I do to, like, get through until I know what's really going on with me? Because like the back and the leg thing, in all honesty, like it's really, really hard to like, I mean, like, this is what I've been saying to everybody. Like, Alex came in yesterday, and I said, come here for a second. He was like standing like outside of the kitchen, and I go, watch. Or I said, hey, I want to show you something. He goes, what? And I like walked towards him, and then I turned around and I walked back. And he goes, okay, am I missing something? And I go, here, I'll show you again. And I like walked towards him, and I turned and I walked back. And he goes, I'm confused. And I go, he goes, oh, you're walking. And I go, yeah, I'm walking. Like, I can walk. Like, you know, like I'm limping, but like, it's not bad. You know what I mean? And so like, I like have been saying to Tanya and my sponsor and my dad and everybody and Alex, you know, like I'm walking. Like, that's a big deal, right? Like when last week, like I couldn't walk. You know, I could not walk last week, and I was in so much pain. But like, this has been going on for like weeks at this point, you know, like from the very beginning. Like literally, it's been going on for like a month now, from when the back pain started. But with the doctor stuff, it's been like 2 weeks, and I'm just like worn out. You know, it's like, and I know, you know, that people like don't have answers for years and years and years. I have two friends of mine that have serious medical issues. One of my friends, she is my age. She's actually 2 years older than me. She's not 50 yet, is she? She'll be 50 this year. And I was like, did I miss her birthday? No, she'll be 50 this year. And she's been dealing with like horrific stomach issues probably since she was 30. I mean, she's been to the Mayo Clinic. She's been everywhere. Like, they do not know what it is. And about once a month, she has to go into the hospital for a week. And she's like, it's horrible. It's so horrible. And, I mean, she's had some of the best doctors in the world, and they don't know what's going on with her. They've never been able to figure it out. And I have another close friend of mine that's very similar, not with stomach issues, but with other issues. And it's so frustrating, you know, that like, okay, I can deal with a month, I can deal with 6 months, I can even deal with a year. But it is frustrating at the same time. I'm trying to take what I'm going through and learn so I have more empathy and compassion for other people in a way that maybe I didn't understand it before. You know, like that's one of the things I'm really trying to learn about it. I'm also like really practicing gratitude like nobody's business. Like, I mean, it is like gratitude, 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 gratitude. But like two of the things that my sponsor said to me today is, she said, number one, I want you to live in the moment. She said, we don't do that very well as alcoholics and addicts, and I want you to like each day like really enjoy, well, okay, the gratitude thing, but like, I guess this is two parts of the same one. But she was like, I want you to stay in the moment. You know, I don't want you to borrow Monday or next week or finding out the results. She's like, I just want you to stay in the moment for right now and just really enjoy like each moment, each day, you know? And then she was like, the other thing is, she was like, you know, I really want you to like remind yourself of living in the moment. She was like, I think each, you know, we say that, like, you have to live life to the fullest and you never know when you're gonna die and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. But she was like, but do we really live moment to moment? Like, no, we don't, you know? And she was like, I really want you to practice that this weekend. I want that to be the takeaway, the lesson, that just to get you through this weekend, to like really live moment. Like, I want you to like really try to fully enjoy and do things that like you're like, oh wow, I had such an amazing Saturday, or such amazing, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, okay, I can do that, you know? And she's like, I really want you to focus on living each moment and, you know, doing things that are important to you and whatever, and making the most of this gift of life that we've been given. So, you know, and I do believe that my purpose here on earth is to continue to learn and as much as I can, and apply it to who I am as a person, to continue to learn about my life and apply it to my life. You know, I do believe that that's like my purpose for being here, and then to live the best life that I possibly can and to pass that on to others. Like, I loved when RuPaul said that, you know, it's like when Oprah asked RuPaul, like, what do you think the meaning of life is? And RuPaul said something about like doing the best that you can do each day, and then living the best life and showing other people what that's like to live the, I mean, I like that idea, you know, that being an example of what does that best life look like? Well, sometimes for me, that best life is living out loud, you know, which is what I've had to do today. You know, it's hard because I like to come on this vlog and be like cheerful and happy and blah, 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 but sometimes I'm not that, you know? Like, sometimes I've had a hard day and I've had a tough time, you know? But like I said in my Peterisms video, I'm strong, I'm resilient, I will get through this. I know that, you know? I know I will. It's just taking some time. And like I said, this is nothing in comparison to what other people have gone through in their lives, you know? Like, there's so many people out there that have 100 times worse. But this is my experience, and this is, you know, I mean, that's why it's called Peter's Vlogs, because I'm just sharing what I'm going through. But I don't want to just stay in this, you know, there would be no growth if I stayed in this self-centered state where all I did was focus on myself and didn't go, wow, like, this is bad and this has been tough, but this is nothing in comparison to what other people have, and to learn compassion and empathy for people that literally have gone through this for 40 years of their life, or 10 years of their life, or 5 years, you know what I mean? Like, there's just no way. So, that it's comparable, it just isn't. But anyway, and I'm thankful for my good Judy Tanya Jane, because she really just was, she got me laughing tonight, you know, and then sitting on the back patio was so nice. So pretty out there, and just, I don't know. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch probably 2 episodes of Legendary. I'm obsessed right now with watching Legendary. It's so good. It's on HBO Max, so go check it out. And it's like, well, I've talked about this before on here. It's about the ballroom. It's like a ballroom, like not ballroom, like dancing, but like the ballroom scene, the ball scene in New York City, like Paris is Burning, but it's today, and it's a reality show competition. It's good. Was I talking about that when I first left, wasn't I? Yeah, I think so. And I'm in the Hank Green book. I really, really like it. I need to listen to a little bit more of it each day, because it's a long book, and it's taking me a while to kind of like get through. I don't want this to be another 2-book month or 1-book month. So, I gotta get on it. I gotta get on it and start reading it. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine that's another person that does YouTube, and I said, you know, the reality is too, I was talking about gratitude, and I said, you know, like, I could have a job that I had to have, you know, to pay my bills, where I had to stand on my feet for 8 hours a day. How could I possibly do that with what I'm going through right now, you know? So that's a blessing, you know, that I work from home for myself. Like, I mean, that's not, like, I don't have to do that. I couldn't, you know? And I've known a lot of people, like, through recovery that are like, they can't have jobs where they stand on their feet. And like, now I'm like, I don't know possibly how you did it for even an hour. You know what I mean? I want to sit outside tonight too and read for a little bit from Witch's Sister. I really want to get into that series. I wish I could finish the whole series like before October 1st, but I would really have, I mean, that's so simple. I could literally do it, but I could finish the whole series by next weekend if I wanted, because each book is only like 150 pages or something. They're not long, but like, I don't even think they're that long, honestly. I think they're like 110 pages, but I think we know that I probably won't do that, right? What a pretty night. My nephews did start school this week. I keep on saying that, but they really did start school this week. I didn't really hear much about it, though, how that went. Alex didn't say anything about it. Little Boo and Tucker have been so sweet. How'd you guys like them in the video last night at the end? That was kind of fun. I miss those days of, you know, I'd have like Boo and Tucker and Pee Pee, and we'd all sit in bed and we would do the vlogs. Do you guys remember that? That was fun. The little guys. So hilarious. Dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. I have been making my bed every single day. I keep on, like, every time when I get up, I think of that, that book that I read from my Peterson's channel called Make Your Bed. So I think about it every day that I get up. Like, it's like, so the whole idea is, like, at least you'll have accomplished one task starting your day, you know? At least if you get through the whole day and you don't do anything else, at least you made your bed. And it's a little deeper than that. But anyway, and so every morning before I go downstairs, you know, like, it takes me 2 seconds to make the bed. So every morning before I, like, take the dogs out and whatever, like, I always think to myself, God, you should just make the bed. And so, like, I pull it up and straighten the pillows and everything. And Tucker is so sweet with these comfort blankets. So Jennifer sent him these comfort blankets. I think it was, I'm almost positive it was Jennifer. And she sent one for Tucker and one for Boo. Boo doesn't really lay on them, but we lay them out. Like, we smooth them down, we lay them out. And then we have Tucker's, his little friends, his stuffed animals, and we lay them at the edge. And Tucker is so cute. Like, he will only, well, sometimes, like, he'll come up during the middle of the night and, like, move close to us. And that's usually when he wants, like, if he knows, like, I'm still awake, like, I'll pet him or whatever. But, like, he knows those blankets are his. It is the cutest thing. Like, he'll go over there and, like, you know, he'll, like, root in them and, like, get them to where, and it's so funny because, like, I can't figure out, like, how, like, he does them to make them comfortable, but he'll, like, lay on them, and then he, like, pushes one part up and lays his head on it. But, like, he will only sleep on those comfort blankets. Like, it is literally the cutest thing in the entire world. And so every day that I make the bed, I have to, they're like these little like crocheted blankets. They're so nice. And I have to, like, straighten them out and put them up there for Tucker, and then he comes and he, like, lays down on them. It's the cutest thing. He loves them. So, little sweeties, little cute dogs. My little cute doggies. I love them so much. Right there is where the farmer's market was, which is where we used to go get the plants. But they would only be for sale from for like 2 weeks in May, because then like they would sell out of them like really, really quick. And so as soon as they were sold out of all of them, like the guy went away. Like he didn't like get more. He just like bought a bunch of them, but he had the best like flowers and plants in the world, like the best. Like all of his hanging plants and everything were so beautiful. I always say I want to get ferns, and I never do. Like big ferns. Tanya had one on her patio. I was like, that fern is so pretty. And she's like, thanks, isn't it nice? And it just looked so full and beautiful. I always say I want to get ferns, but like I never do. I think they're so gorgeous. Did I just say that? I just said that. But I do. I think they're so pretty. I do. Like, there was this house by our house, and it's this small little tiny house. But it's like this little colonial. It's so cute. It looks like a shotgun house, if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's like you could shotgun straight through the front door. And it's like front door, living room, dining room, kitchen, back door, And then the bedrooms are the side, like 2 of them. But it's like real small like that. And the front porch, like they have this pathway going up to the front porch. And it's like they have these beautiful lights in it. And then they have, what do you call it? Like on their patio, which is just like a cement patio, they have like this big like love seat with 2 matching chairs that have ottomans and like a table on it. And then they have like big planters on the plants. It's so well kept and it's beautiful. But then they have like 4 gorgeous ferns every summer hanging from there. And it's so beautiful. And every time I see it, I'm just like, I want to sit on that patio and read a book. Like that patio looks so comfy cozy to read a book. I want to be up there. So next year we're doing ferns, because I proved that I can't do the flowers. But I love the flowers. The flowers are so pretty and stuff. I swear to God, I saw that shining right behind me on my seat. I was like, is somebody behind me? Do you ever just have like that moment of panic? I was like, is there somebody like creeping up behind my seat? Like it freaked me out. Anyway, all right, you guys, listen, I think I'm gonna get off here now so I can go turn around and go home and watch Legendary. You should check it out. If you like RuPaul's Drag Race too, you would probably really like it, although it's not drag at all. But I think that you would like it. It's a lot of costumes and a lot of voguing. It's really, really cute. It's really cute and it's beautiful and it's cool, and they're extremely creative and their stories are just super empowering, and it's a great show. So go check it out. It's called Legendary and it's on HBO Max. Anyway, and I also finished The Alienist last night, and we don't have another Big Brother until Sunday. I wish I had the live feeds, because I'd like to know what's going on in that house, but I don't. I will say, though, that I was kind of over the fact that Memphis won Big Brother. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I can't remember who I was down to at the very end, because I was like, who was down to at the very end I was hoping would win? There was like 5 people left. And I was like, please be, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, it was one of the women that I really wanted to win at the end. Maybe Christmas, I can't remember. I can already tell this season's not going to go the way that I want it to. Like, this is the thing. Like, if they would do something like that would be really surprising for the house, like somebody would like, I don't know, at the last minute change something, and like, I'm always with the underdogs, but it never goes the way that I want it to. And then everybody that I like gets kicked off and then I get bored. That's usually what happens. But we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case this year. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. So if you, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this vlog. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And I used to do that joystick thing, remember? God, I forgot all about that. And leave a comment in the comment section below if you would like. Please leave something yellow in the comment section below if you made it to this point. It can be anything yellow. It can be lots of yellow, whatever. Let's just see flooded yellow in the comment section for sunshine. More sunshine the rest of this month. Sunny days. And also make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel if you already have, and if you haven't, please think about subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Do something that will make you happy. You deserve it. You only have one life. do something that will make you happy today. Also, do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and every single night, and you tell yourself, I love you, and at least one positive affirmation like you are valuable. And every night before you go to bed and every morning when you get up in the morning, say it to yourself at the night before you go to bed for the next day. And when you get up in the morning, say to yourself, today is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. I'm going to sing and dance and laugh and cry if I want to. I'm going to spend time with family and friends if I want or if I can. And if I don't or I can't, I'm going to spend time alone and just enjoy my time alone or with my fur babies, my pets, because I love them so much. Or just maybe some time alone and taking. It stopped and I did not even know I was at the end, you guys. Also, what did I say? I don't know where I was at with that. But anyway, also, eat great food today. And I'm also gonna eat great food today. I'm gonna have things that make me happy to eat. And I'm gonna get out and maybe get a little bit of exercise, even if it's just taking a walk up the street or to get my mail if I can. And just get some fresh air, because fresh air is good for all of us. I never say that. So that's what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow. I'll go out and get my mail, I promise you that. Okay, I can walk that far. And I'm gonna have great opportunities come my way all day long, and I'm gonna have positive experiences all day long as well. And if my day gets off track and I start to get a little negative or I start to get a lot negative, well, I can start my day over whenever I want, just like that. Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. It has meant the world to me this week to hear from people. Your emails, your comments have really, really helped me a lot. I just want to let you know that. I was going to read comments earlier and I didn't end up doing that. Anyway, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Your love and your support, and to all the new subscribers out there, and to all of you that like the video even, you know, and everything. It just, even if you just leave one blue heart, you know, like, or like the video or just watch it, like, that means the world to me. And I just want to tell you that your support and your positivity and love in the last couple weeks has just meant so much to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And I always say, most important, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And like I also always say, practice random acts of kindness, but like I also always say, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. It's a good thing to practice kindness and love, compassion, and put that out there in the world, you know, and make the world a nicer, happier, more loving, kind place, right? Put some good out there into the world. We can all do that. I need to do that as well. And I think that's it. And I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.